Alright, so I'm back here with some more Star Wars The Black Series figures. These are all three of the 50th anniversary Clone Wars figures commemorating the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. I already took a look at the ARC Trooper, and what's left is Mace Windu and General Grievous. So we'll go ahead and get this guy out of the way. And I think the one that I want to do next is gonna be Grievous. Mainly because we got Mace Windu here. His packaging right now, or the way that it came to me when I ordered it, just looks the best. The ARC Trooper was really dinged up. Grievous is looking like that. There's rips and tears in there because Amazon decided to package it in the box like this. And so now basically Grievous is already coming open. So I'm going to open up him first. That's what this video is going to be about. And then I'll make a separate video later for Mace Windu. So let's go ahead and get to General Grievous. Well, actually, should take a look at the packaging. So unlike the ARC Trooper video, I actually have these guys still in the packaging because they aren't looking too horrible. At least their packaging is not. The ARC Trooper was really messed up. But also, I just think it's nice to keep them in there. I also wanted to try a video of not having it in the packaging first, and then try a video of me opening them, and we'll just see how that goes. But as you can see, this packaging just looks really nice, especially with the figure in there, unopened for the most part. There's the look of that Tartakovsky style Grievous right there. As you can see, this is really just a repaint of the past Grievous figure in the Black Series, the Revenge of the Sith version, which I do not have. I decided to get this one over that because I think I like the color scheme a bit better. But he does have a new cape, and we'll get to all of that. And then of course you get the Clone Wars logo right there, and you got the Star Wars and 50th Lucasfilm at the top. Let's focus that, and the Clone Trooper, and then we turn it around. It's the same description as all three of the figures. You got Star Wars, the Clone Wars again, and then General Grievous and some more art of him right there, and then there's the timeline. So this is probably going to hurt a little bit, but it has to be done. On that wasn't too bad. That went pretty cleanly. It is hard kind of opening up behind the camera, but there's the explosion. Okay. So I've been messing with this out of the packaging for a while, and I struggle in trying not to say that I hate it, because everything on this figure, aside from just how it looks, because it looks good, I really like how it looks, but all the articulation, trying to get it into a decent pose that stands up, like even just this pose right here, it was just very basic with him holding all the lightsabers, kind of made me want to throw it across the room. It's hard to get all the lightsabers in his hands because the limbs are so thin and flimsy. It feels like the hand is about to break off when you're trying to put the lightsaber in there because they don't fit in the hands very well. And the arms are definitely the most annoying part. They're supposed to be able to go back together, which I'll try and figure that out. So it can be in like a two-armed mode, but it doesn't stay together very well, and it's just so very annoying. Probably the most annoying action figure I've had to deal with, at least, and at least I have a decent amount of action figures. So these are all four of the lightsabers. We get 2 green, 2 blue because it's Grievous, and these are the only accessories we get with the whoa. And these are the only accessories that we get with the figure. There's no blaster or anything like that. All 4 hilts are unique. The camera is having trouble focusing on it. But they're all unique sculpts, but there's only the silver paint. There's no other paint apps on there, and so that's those. I will say, though, that you want to be careful when you're taking the lightsabers out of his hands or putting them in his hands, because most likely it's going to kind of mess up the pose you already had going on. Luckily, mine has sort of stayed in place, but his arms are going to get all screwed up and all that. So another accessory kind of is the cape. You can take it off pretty easily. Well, at least I was taking it off easily. It's not going to cooperate now. There we go. And unlike the Revenge of the Sith version of the figure, the cape is much thinner. Of course, it's white. That's really the only thing going on with the cape. I don't know why I'm showing it in the camera for so long, but there's that. it does fit on the figure way better. It looks better. And getting onto the articulation, for the head, we can go down this much. We can go up this much, but the joint in there is really not wanting to cooperate. It keeps wanting to pop back into its normal look, or I don't even know what to call it, but it's like it doesn't want to pose very well. Like you can get that to happen. There is that joint up there in the head, which you can get him to look up that much, and he'll look down that much, but you can't really get the neck joint to stay in place. It just keeps wanting to pop back. That's the same thing for trying to move it backwards. You do have the articulation there. It's just not really wanting to work. I think it's because if you look in there, there's all those plastic wires that aren't attached to anything. They do not let the joints move too much. So it's another con that we have to deal with this figure. You do get some tilts right here. That's as much that we can really get, though, unfortunately. Going over to the arms, we do have that whole feature where you can stick them back together and put him in like a 2-arm mode. But that's, like I said before, kind of a hassle. There's a tab right there that's supposed to go in right here. There's another tab on the forearm that goes in right there. And then there's the same thing with the hands, if it'll focus. A little circle tab that goes into the hole right there. And I'm going to go ahead and try and get those together real quick. And I've actually somehow been able to get both the arms stuck together. Usually what happens is this arm really doesn't want to stick together, and it's still having trouble right there at the forearm. But you can kind of, I don't know, turn the pieces around, and you can get the elbow to bend that way, but then it's wanting to come apart, and I don't want it to break anything because I don't want the plastic to get all stressed and everything and then break because it's really thin and all that kind of stuff. But then this arm, I'm trying to get it to bend, and then it's also going to break. So let me keep trying to figure this out. The elbow joints here are just really not wanting to bend. You can kind of get it to, but then it goes back into place, and it looks like it's trying to break, and I do not want to break it because I do like how this figure looks. I would at least like to not break it. But the arms, the only other thing with the arms is you have the shoulders, and each arm has its own shoulder articulation. As you can see, the 2 joints right there. We can get each arm to go up this high, and it'll go, it can't really go down or go in too much, even with the assistance of the main arm joint. But, you can kind of get it to do that, and it'll go up, but it can't really go back much because you have the other arm, and then it'll go back this much. And then you have the inner, or the main joint for the whole arm, and it'll go all the way around, and it can go out, and that's kind of it. It can go back a little bit, but it's kind of complicated articulation. I don't like it very much. It's just a hassle to deal with. And the other arm is the same way. With the torso articulation, you do actually get a joint in here, which can go down a little bit. You can get it to go down that much. Let me move the arms. You can get it to go back like that, I think. Is it going to break? No. And you do get some tilt a little bit in there. Finally, there's the leg articulation. You can't get it to go out past that, unfortunately, with these ball joints. That's all you get right there. You can get it to go up this much, and it can go forward up pretty high. And then you can get it to go back down. You got the knee joints. It's hitting the camera a bunch, I know. It's such an annoying figure. And you get the knee to go back that much, and you can straighten out the leg to kind of make him look weird. I don't think his legs ever looked that straight, but it's whatever. And then you got this joint. I don't know what to call it. It's for the foot. It can move up that much. Can't really move back too much. But basically the whole leg is supposed to kind of look like that. And I've hit the camera once again. And then at the ankle, you can only get it to twist around. You can't get it to do much more. So here's a bit of a decent pose I was able to get him in without the cape. Hopefully he doesn't fall over, but we're basically going to be taking a look at the paint apps and just how the figure looks now. The whole sculpt of the figure is obviously a repaint of the Revenge of the Sith version that we got a while ago. It has the different colors are, I think the white is less yellow, because in Revenge of the Sith he of course had a bit of a grimier, grittier color scheme going on with him. And with the, I don't know what to call it, like underneath the armor we got this light bluish gray color. It looks really nice. I like the color scheme. Of course it's supposed to match the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, but he doesn't have that, he's not in that same art style. It's just Revenge of the Sith Grievous, but different colors. And so it's kind of the same thing with the Fordo figure, where it's just a repaint. It's not exactly what it should have been, but we got it anyway. Looking at the head, it is definitely the best looking part of the figure. You do see the eyes and kind of the flesh behind the mask. It all looks pretty good. I'm going to try and get a closer view of that. And so that's kind of what it looks like. And I mean, there's not really any battle damage or anything on there. It's all sculpted in there, like on the chest piece. There's all this scratches and dents and stuff like that, and some extra details in the armor. But none of it's painted on there. It's just the eyes and a few lines and details. Like there's some painted details on the arm right there. And I don't know what some of these scuff marks are. I think there's some paint around the eyes, around the eye holes of the mask. As you can see, those lines right there. I don't know if that's supposed to be battle damage or what, but it's there. And that's basically all we got. We do get some paint apps on the side though, actually, that little line right there. And so there's just details like that across the whole figure. This gray color right here on the leg, slightly darker than the rest of the stuff beneath the armor. And that's basically it for the paint apps. There's just not too much to talk about with this figure. It's a repaint of the Black Series Grievous, and the paint apps here that are actually different aren't really a big deal. It's just the Tartakovsky colors. And I mean, it still looks like Grievous. It's just that pale white color, lighter than what it was in Revenge of the Sith. And you know, I think it looks better. I like this design a lot more than the Revenge of the Sith version, which is why I got this figure over that one. And it looks good. But I don't know, man. It's not a figure I'm super enthusiastic about. I mainly just got it to look cool on the shelf, because General Grievous is a cool character design, and I wanted to see that. Oh, he's going to fall over again. And the colors for the Tartakovsky version are really nice. But the figure itself has really bad articulation. Paint apps look is fine, but the overall body, just the functional part, the functional aspect of this figure isn't very great. It's not a great action figure. It doesn't make me want to like put it in a bunch of different poses and have it look cool. I want to sit it there and leave it on the shelf. And I don't even want to put it up on the shelf with the other figures, because it's going to fall over and destroy everything. But I just want to like leave it there and call it a day and look at it from a distance. I am going to go ahead and put the cape back on just to do it. So there's the cape. But that's basically it for this figure. I can't really find anything else to talk about. I guess I like it. It's cool. It is General Grievous. And that's about it. That's a wrap right there on this figure. So this was the Star Wars The Black Series 50th Anniversary Clone Wars General Grievous. Not a figure I was really hyped about. And I don't know, it was what it was. It's not the most exciting for me. But it looks cool. It looks cool right there. And it's going to be nice to have, especially when you have it with the other two figures of the wave. So that's about it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment whatever you want in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next one.